The MLB postseason has been pretty unbelievable so far, largely in part due to what's happening on the National League side of things. The first and second seeds in the National League were knocked out in the divisional round, leading to an NLCS matchup that certainly I didn't see coming at all. While the statistics show that Major League Baseball is the world's best major sport for flourishing underdogs in the 21st century, that doesn't make the losses of any of the top tier teams any less shocking. In today's video, I'd like to take a look at some of the losers from this postseason and how these teams seem to keep ending up in the same place and what they could do to break out of these seemingly endless cycles. Before we do though, I'd like to tell you guys about something new that we're doing on the channel. I have a new live show called Raving Matt. We did the first episode the other night just before Game 5 of the Rays-Astros series, and it went pretty great thanks to you guys. So the premise is, it's more of an event show as opposed to a weekly thing. I'll have guests on every now and then. We'll talk about sports, and it's just a very chill atmosphere. I'll also be doing segments dedicated to talking to you guys specifically, fan questions, fan interactions. It'll just be you guys and me talking sports. Everyone in chat loved it the other day, so I'm sure you'll love it too if you give it the chance. If you guys can go down into the comments section and tell me whether you want to see me do a show for the NLCS, World Series, or one for each, I'd greatly appreciate that. Now, back to the video. So the Dodgers recently blew it against the Nationals in the NLDS, something that I did not see coming from a mile away. They went 106-56 in the regular season, which pegged them as favorites to make it to their third consecutive World Series, and then they played the Nationals. Up until this last week, the Nationals had their own spot on this list. I mean, they had lost the NLDS 4 out of the 4 times they've been there since 2012. I mean, the Nationals have never won a playoff series up until recently, so for them to break out of their own loop was pretty incredible, especially against the Dodgers. Now for the Dodgers, this marks the 7th consecutive season that they've made the postseason without a World Series ring to show for it. Dodgers fans are clearly fed up, and most of their frustration at the moment is being taken out on manager Dave Roberts and future Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw. Most Dodger fans have been expressing their anger through their treatment of their Clayton Kershaw jerseys. Whether it be throwing them on the field or running them over with a vehicle, fans are clearly acting with a clear and rational conscience in these hard times. Whether their anger in Clayton is justified, I'll let you guys decide. Now, as to what the Dodgers can do to finally follow through and win a championship, their only on-field flaw is their bullpen. Their lineup and rotation are extremely talented, as you all know, but their relief pitching had hurt them all season and did them no favors in the series against the Nationals. Since the team is as talented as it is, there may be a case against Dave Roberts as well. I didn't like him putting in Kershaw in Game 5 in relief. It's not like he was amazing in his start a few days earlier. He's not an effective postseason pitcher, as we all know, and I don't get how you can let him throw another pitch after giving up that home run to Rendon. I know the bullpen isn't that reliable, but once Kershaw gives up that home run, you have to find somebody else that can go in there and pitch. The Dodgers are such a talented franchise, and I don't see ownership staying with Roberts another year if the Dodgers don't win it all in 2020. Now moving on here, the Dodgers aren't the only team on the West Coast this year that drove off a cliff at the start of October. The A's had a yearly ritual to perform as well. Oakland got knocked out in the wild card round against Tampa Bay at home without much of a fight at all. The 97-65 Oakland A's kind of just died in the wild card game, and they're no stranger to that. I tweeted this last week and I talked about it the other day on Raving Matt. The Oakland A's have played in 9 winner-take-all games since the day I was born, and they haven't won a single one, including 3 losses in the wild card game since 2014. Now, whether it be to the Angels in 2014 or to the Astros the past 2 years, the A's will always be good at one thing: finishing in second place.
Knock, knock. Who's there? The guy that finished second. The guy that finished second who? Exactly.
So what can the A's do to break out of this seemingly endless loop? Well, for one, maybe they can, spend some money. They were the 5th lowest payroll in 2019, the 3rd lowest in 2018, and the 2nd lowest in 2017. So, I guess it's increasing. I guess that's a good thing. It's not increasing by much, though. If the A's truly care about winning, they'll go out and sign some superstars to back up their good young guys. Let's face it, I doubt they can take out the Astros and win the division anytime soon, but when they eventually make the wildcard game in 2020, they should give themselves a good shot by getting a top-tier starter that can win them that game. Go look at a Steven Strasburg if he opts out of his deal, throw some money at Bumgarner if that's more in your price range, give your team as good a chance in that inevitable wildcard game as possible. At the end of the day, the A's are always just falling short, and they just need a big push from ownership. Now in a 2019 postseason filled with teams with haunting postseason pasts, next up is Minnesota. They were another 100-win team who fell just short. Now I'm not sure how many people actually thought they could beat the Yankees. I definitely wasn't one of them, but I at least expected them to take a game at home. And like Season 8 of Game of Thrones, they were nothing but a huge disappointment. Like the A's, the Twins seem to find themselves in a familiar place each season. Minnesota has made the playoffs 7 times since 2003. Minnesota is 2-19 in the playoffs since 2003. They've been knocked out by the Yankees 6 out of those 7 times, and the other was ironically enough by the Oakland A's. The Twins were better in 2019 than in any of those previous seasons, so I figured winning 1 game wouldn't be that much to ask for, but the Twins just love proving me wrong. The Twins are another team that is hurt from their lack of starting pitching. Don't get me wrong, guys like Berrios and Odorizzi are good pitchers, but when you're going against the Yankees, you need a Justin Verlander or a Garrett Cole to stand a chance. Berrios was good in Game 1. He wasn't bad by any means. 4 innings of 1-run ball is a good start, especially against the Yankees. The loss wasn't really his fault, it was the bullpens, which leads me to my next point. The Twins need to invest more in their bullpen. It's not a terrible bullpen by any means. They were 6th in the American League in bullpen ERA in 2019. It's just that the teams in front of them, excluding the Indians, were all postseason teams. So they're going into the postseason with worse starting pitching and worse relief pitching, relatively speaking, than the teams they have to face. The Twins are still a younger team, so I think they'll still be good next year. They just need a starter and maybe a bullpen arm or 2 to go with that solid offense, and maybe they can finally beat the Yankees next year. Let's talk about the Braves. They had a 2-1 series lead heading into Game 4 in St. Louis. They went into the 8th inning up 4-3. They blew the lead, Shane Green gave up a walk-off sac fly to Yadi Molina, and that was the last inning of competitive baseball that the Atlanta Braves would play in 2019. The Cardinals scored 10 runs in the first inning the following game, and the Braves season was over 20 minutes into Game 5. Atlanta was knocked out of the divisional round again, and have not made it to the NLCS since 2001, even though they've made the playoffs 9 times since. Now this is the best team the Braves have had since the early 2000s, but they still couldn't find a way. Their window obviously isn't shut yet, but they've still got to do something to finally get over this hump. I honestly think they should take a look at Garrett Cole this offseason. I'm not sure if they would spend that kind of money, but I think it would be a great fit. I doubt they re-sign Keuchel, and even though Foltynewicz had a great second half, I still wouldn't consider him to be a front-of-the-rotation, reliable starter until he can get back to doing that for a full season. Now Max Fried is a promising arm, but he's still at an ERA over 4. Cole gives you that legitimate ace at the front end of the rotation, and with the incredible Mike Soroka right behind him, I think they can get past the first round next year. Just imagine the Braves going into the NLDS with Garrett Cole and Mike Soroka going 1-2. Now those were the 4 teams that I wanted to talk about today. Let me know in the comments what these teams need to do to get over their respective humps in your opinion. Maybe you guys have some insights that I missed in this video, and if you do, make sure to let me know down there. Again, let me know in the comments whether you want to see another episode of Stark Raving Matt for the NLCS, for the World Series, or an episode for each. If you liked the video, make sure to let us know by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Something I don't usually plug is to turn on all notifications for our channel so you know when we upload. That's the best way to stay updated with us. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all later.